My name is George Foulkes Jr. and my tag is GRR, where I was just playing fighting games that I enjoy, and I started to go to local tournaments within a couple of years, I think since 2011. And until then, every game that I play, I just kept getting better and better. I put into thought a lot of methodical decisions I made based on instinct and just planning ahead. So I play on a play style where it's aggressive and sometimes defensive, and I go from both of them. My expectations is I always, even for every tournament, I always see myself winning that grand prize and with the glory of getting first place with my hard work. But I'm gonna try my best to achieve that with the results. But I'm gonna use what I learned so far and use it to the best of my ability.
Nice flawless block
really
right there.
good blocks, man. Really good blocks.
Oh, getting unblocked, does he?
No, doesn't get the clinch locked in.
Doesn't spend it. It's getting knocked in.
No.
This is Geras.
That is so tragic.
Wow,
So-
why didn't he spend it? Surely he could have spent it, Callum.
That is so tragic.
How important it is to win in this tournament? It would mean so much to me. It's just I shower and I just think about winning and the feeling of it, and it's just something that always drives me forward. And the feeling I would get was just so much hype, so much excitement, confidence. It's just all positive feelings in one. You guys better watch out because I'm not gonna sleep in this tournament, and I'm gonna work really hard to get that win. And we're all friends outside of the game, but in the game, I'm just gonna run all over you guys. So we're gonna get this win. I've done team matches before in tournament, and they're always a lot different. You know, relying on a partner in a versus setting. I feel I do enjoy it a lot because you get to learn about and connect with the player you're working with and learning about how they're fighting, even coaching them as well. I really enjoyed partnering with Tekken Master, and I've learned so much from him, not only as a person, but as a player. Just being there, him by my side, cheering me on, and me cheering on him, I feel like it worked both ways. And I do really enjoy that kind of format because having a partner there and working as one, I look forward to fighting just everybody in general, to be honest. But I'm thinking Foxy because Foxy's a really, really good player, very textbook player. Just plays simple, but not simple at the same time, and uses a really good strategy with characters are not familiar with because it's a new game, new patch, and him being a top player, I want to see how I do against him in tournament because I remember the last time I believe I fought him before this week. It was very close, I almost won, but I couldn't make it in the end, so I'd like to fight him again and see how I do. This group is really tough. I feel like it's a lot of it's up in the air, but I do know that Tekken Master will definitely make it through, especially from what I've seen and what I've learned and how he plays, definitely. I do see Too Easy has a really good chance of making it through. He's a very, very confident player in tournament, very, very hype. He works really, works really hard in the moment, especially with a good character, with Sub-Zero. And I'm trying to see two more. I think Do Basic has a really good chance as well, because again, a lot of new characters with new of these moves that people are not really familiar fighting with. I grew up playing video games in general during most of my childhood, and when I started playing fighting games, I wasn't really good at them. And I remember when I played Street Fighter, and it was a very long time ago, I think Super Street Fighter 4. And one time I found a poster on a basement about a tournament that was being held, and I went there. And I saw people playing just in a small room playing Street Fighter, and I entered. It was a single elimination tournament. And when I played, I didn't really do so well, but I did this one moment that was out of nowhere, like a random super move that people did not expect. And people were really hyped and very excited when they saw that moment. And I think from that moment, even though I lost the match, from that moment I feel like, wow, that was really fun, fun experience. And from then on, I started to play more fighting games. And I started playing NRS games when MK9 came out in 2011. And then from there I went to Injustice 2, and that's when I first got my, in 2017, I got my first real sponsor that flew me out to these huge events. I love Mortal Kombat and Injustice. I grew up with Mortal Kombat with the old games, and even like Deadly Alliance, I believe, was my first one on the console. And just from then on, it was, I feel like NRS made the games really accessible for newer players, because I wasn't very good at fighting games or learning them, because there was no move list or tutorials that really helped me out. So NetherRealm Studios started making the newer games, Mortal Kombat 9 and Injustice, that made it easier for newer players to actually get into the game. And I really enjoyed that a lot, because I love the franchise, and even, I'm not even a big DC fan, but the Injustice series made me appreciate that realm a lot more, and really got me into the game. And it's not only just from the competitive aspect, but the casual aspect of the games that I really like. And I feel like I can play it both the way I wanted to, and it just makes it a lot more enjoyable to invest my time in as well. You would need a lot of patience, especially if you're new, because starting from scratch and learning a new game, especially a competitive fighting game, is very difficult. And you want to use the tools that the game gives you to learn the game, and in order to actually get better at it. And you need that patience, because you're gonna lose a lot. And when you lose a lot, it's all about handling those emotions and understanding that you may lose a lot now, but you will lose less once you understand why you lost. And it's just do the tutorials. A lot of games now, modern fighting games, have tutorials, and you do them, and there's a lot of resources online to look up on how you can get better or what you're starting off. And for every fighting game, even Mortal Kombat 11, if you play a character you enjoy and you go from there no matter what. And then you see what you like first. You want to enjoy the game first and play the game before moving on to actually taking it very seriously. This recent patch or new expansion for Mortal Kombat 11, I think, is really good. It's a lot better than I expected, because they decided to make everyone have customizable loadouts, special moves that you can have within the game that you couldn't have before, because back then the developers gave specific loadouts to use in tournament. There were a lot of moves that were illegal, but now they opened a lot of options for you to select your own special moves. And I feel like people now have their own way to play their character for specific matchups, for their own style. And I really do think that it's way better for the game, for people to learn and have more freedom. As well as the new characters are really fun, and the balance changes are really nice. And there's just so many changes they made that I understand why, and they really want the longevity for the game. They want it to last long and for people to keep learning, and that's why they introduced all of this in one expansion. I really like it. Currently, I think the 5 strongest character is Liu Kang, Jackie, Fujin, Cetrion, and Johnny. I feel like a lot of those characters, for a beginner, I do recommend someone like Liu Kang. Is a lot easier and a lot simpler to play, and because he has a lot of tools to work with that can fight. I think he's accessible as well, so anybody can learn him as to play. I play a bit against them, and they were still strong even before the new update. So I'm not surprised that they're still strong right now, and they're still playable. A lot of the characters are really good in this game, that they can actually fight a lot of people. But you know, the strongest characters, they are strong, but they're still playable. It's not as bad as previous Mortal Kombat games. A lot of things changed this year, and we're all indoors, and we have to rely on online tournaments. But I'm very grateful that we have like a really good, for Mortal Kombat 11 to have a really good online netcode, that it makes it very playable to play online. And there's a lot of tournaments and opportunities there that I feel like makes me patient to play those, and play with the community as well. And I just feel like it's really, really, really good. And I'm kind of used to it. I'm kind of used to the indoor life right now. So I don't mind it too much, because I know things will get a lot better in the future, and hopefully we'll be all together again playing offline. I don't only play fighting games. I play other games like League of Legends. I've been playing that game for 6 years. Very long time. I love that game, and just the new patches is amazing. I play some story games when I can to enjoy it casually. I don't really stream it. I stream like fighting games or other games, but story games I enjoy by myself, kind of like reading a book. And I 100% agree that fighting or just games in general really help you develop just skills. And for me, I've noticed my critical thinking skills really helped me just in general and how I approach things. My emotions when I'm feeling stressed or any anxiety, the practices I use before a tournament or during tournament help me deal with those situations, kind of like in a fighting game. I've noticed I feel a lot more confident in myself, a lot sometimes courageous in certain situations. I used to play on whichever gaming pad that the console system has to offer, but currently I am using the Astro C40 PS4 gaming pad, which has a lot of good features that help with tournaments. It being wired, so you don't have to worry about any wireless issue or disconnecting. It has a really good grip, it's really good buttons, and triggers as well for precise inputs. But honestly, you don't have to commit to a new gaming controller if you're new. I do recommend just playing what you're comfortable with, because a lot of joysticks and things like that can be expensive. And I only recommend for those people who grew up playing on arcade sticks to try an arcade stick for themselves. It's just, I was really hyped for the PS5, but being that it's there's a high demand for it, it's a lot of people getting it, there's scalpers selling it for a high price. I don't think it's worth it right now. Currently, I don't think it's worth it because the tournament standard, it's still on PS4. So until then, until we all upgrade to play on the system, I'm okay with playing on last gen. I've either become a chess master. I'm not good at chess, but I become a chess master or something with computers. From hard losses that I get, which is very normal from my fighting game career, they're always gonna hurt. They're never gonna hurt less. I always want to win. I always want to be successful and see the results from my hard work. But when it does happen, I always take the emotions when they come through, and I just reassure myself with positivity and telling myself that I'll always improve from my matches, that I'll always be stronger than today, because tomorrow is what matters on how I learn from it. And from that, I've been improving from it, because some of the losses that I take they hurt very, very much, and at times I just feel like it's just too much for me to handle. But with experience, I've gotten a lot better at taking those emotions. Experiencing this and coming here, I feel like that feeling I got, and I'm so happy that I accepted, because it's way more than what I expected, and I'm really happy that I said yes to the invitation.
Whip is not punished. Down two, finally. 2% on the down two.
There's a lot of people in this community that inspire me, who I've known for years, who've been by my side and helping me out through not only in the game but in real life as well. One of those being Coach Steve. Coach Steve is one of my greatest partners and friends. I just want to show that anyone could be a pro or well known in the community if they really work hard and if they're a good person and they show support to everyone and learn and improve together as players. Huge shout out to my team, Dynamic Foulkes. I've been representing them for years, so I'm glad to represent them again for this huge event. Thank you, Coach Steve, back at home. Hope you enjoyed the show. All my friends and family, my mom. I hope you enjoy this. And just everybody, all my fans, I really appreciate all the fans and people who are rooting for me to win and do good. I'm really grateful for it. And just everybody in general, there's so many people to shout out, but thank you, everybody. I love all of you, and I hope I can do the best for you and for me.